What is up, everybody? It is Hobbs back here with you with your Wild Eye Wednesday review. We are going to be reviewing weird fiction today on Wild Eye Wednesdays. Let's get right into the plot of this film here. Let's first take a quick look at it. As you can see, before we actually go into the film, I don't believe it has the blue treatment. Came out in 2018. Tune in and die. It is basically a Halloween anthology. It is approximately 87 minutes. Not to be confused with strange fiction. So let me get into kind of the subplot of this, because I don't think a lot of people know this, but there is an ideology out there, and there is folklore out there of what weird fiction actually means, and that it means like a series of vampires, cults, different types of things. So I believe the director of this film kind of took that into play. This does star Taylor Rhodes, Isabella Rodriguez, directed by Jacob Parrott. Taylor Rhodes, you might as well make him a part of the film because he is literally in every segment. True terror awaits. So let's get into this film here. Weird fiction. So essentially it's broken up into four stories. Okay. It is an anthology, and they somewhat tie together, but not really. In fact, the character Taylor Rhodes is literally in every segment under a different type of character, which I thought was awesome. You don't see that often, especially with someone who has a different name. So, the first one we have here, the first segment was a slasher segment. The second segment we had was a vampire segment. We also had a zombie/creature feature segment. And then the final one, which was my favorite of the segments, which was an alien species type factor, into the last one. Now, when you go into this, you got to realize that this is a low-budget independent film. You're not going to get Academy Award type of effects, but they were practical effects. I did not see much CGI, if any, throughout this film, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And I have to say, let's go into the pros and cons of the film. What you have here is an anthology, a Halloween anthology. The picture quality is made to look like something back in the 70s or 80s, almost as if you were watching kind of like one of the horror hosts. Like we have one around here called Dr. Creep, and he's going through each of these like on a Halloween night segment, or kind of going through each individual segment and telling you what happens, almost like the Crypt Keeper. And the first story, with the slasher, I'd have to say, actually, now that I think about it, is my favorite. It was a really good slasher, really good storyline to it, and it was kind of heartwarming a little bit too. I know that sounds morbid and twisted, but that's how I felt about it. The second one was a little more out there, more of a vampire type situation. It actually had a lot of humor in it too, in the second one, and it was just, to me, it was well done. I mean, you have, practical effects. You have a lot of the same characters in the film as well. And you just really have an all-around great effort for the budget they were working with this one. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed this. It is a Wild Eye releasing, obviously. If I had to go into some of the cons of the film, I kind of wish they would have done a fifth segment, just to kind of round it all out. I know 4 segments typically is what they do in anthologies, but I felt like some of the segments dragged on just a little further than they needed to, but I enjoyed it for what it was. It's not going to be up there with like Trick or Treat or anything like that, but you could certainly put it up there with The Witching season, 1031, those type films. You could certainly put it up there with that, and it would still be in that same ballpark as well. With this one, but it's just on a lower scale. But I do highly recommend Weird Fiction. If some of you just recently got it, you won't be disappointed in this one. just note that it is a low budget film and they did really good with what they had to work with. So anyways, go check out Weird Fiction. It's at Wild Eye Releasing. You can go to wildeyereleasing.com. I'll put the link in the description. Outside of that, this is Hobbs. I am off work here today for the night, and I am going to go enjoy a little nap, and I will catch up with you guys later. Peace.